Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine. We're brought to you by the Navy Federal Credit Union. Time to shine the light on Navy women's rugby with Eliza Herring. And Eliza, for you and your teammates, the marquee kind of sells it all this week. Just what kind of an exciting week is it when you look up and obviously for you and your teammates, you see Army on the marquee this week?
Well, we've been thinking about Army and focusing on Army since we got back from Christmas break. And we're just super excited to go out there and battle with somebody who knows our way of life, like the West Point girls do.
Obviously, good performances up at Penn State. How do you feel about the way the team is performing right now, heading into this matchup this week?
I feel great about it. Everybody is gelling super well and hitting at practice really hard. So we're definitely all eyes forward on Army.
Let's talk about you just mentioned a great word, hitting. And there is so much physicality to this sport. I think any of us that cover sports that are familiar with it appreciate it so much because even when we look at, football counterparts, they're out there wearing helmets, shoulder pads. Y'all are doing the exact same violent things, and y'all are doing it with a far less amount of protection that they are. What makes someone want to participate in this sport? And as you mentioned, to be good at it, you got to be really physical in this sport. What makes somebody want to do that?
Well, I think you got to be a little bit crazy. But honestly, for us, it's the women that you're playing with, and it's the legacy of the women that have come before us, doing the hard things so that we can be better and because they are hard. But it definitely does take a mindset shift to think, yep, I'm going to go run at that other person and I'm going to hit them. And it's probably going to hurt me more than it hurts them.
What's the key to the accountability in the room? And as you mentioned, you all are playing for one another and you're playing for alumni that have come before you and trying to carry on a legacy of what rugby really has meant. And certainly as a club sport, it's gigantic here at the Naval Academy. So many people that you represent. What's the key to the accountability every day to make sure you all are performing at the level necessary to continue what has been a very good program?
I think a lot of it comes with staying connected to that legacy. So we have alumni from Navy Women's Rugby write us letters that we read before games, talking about what the legacy means to them and what the team means to them. Showing up every day to practice, excited to be there. And if you can't be excited, at least you're there. That sort of mentality that you show up no matter what's going on with you.
The fact that you played soccer, and soccer was obviously such a key in your background, did it ever have a chance, or what attracted you to rugby, and obviously now being a Division I varsity athlete in that sport?
I have some family background in rugby, so my dad played in college and my brother plays, but I've always loved the physicality in contact sports. So I was the physical soccer player, and it just felt like it translated very well in rugby. And then I met the coaching staff and I met the girls from the class of 20 and 21, and I was hooked instantly.
You were the pain in the ass on the soccer field, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Could definitely tell. But as a competitor, to me, this sport seems to have everything that if you're competitive in anything and you're a competitive athlete at all, this sport seems to provide that for you because there are so many different roles even within this sport. Getting to know it since I've been at the academy and obviously talking to players and coaches this year and learning a lot more about it, there just seems to be something in this sport that if you're competitive at all, that it provides something for you. Would that be right or wrong?
Oh, that's definitely right. This sport cannot be played without any piece of the puzzle. So whether that's fitness or strategy, having your mental game on lock, having your skills on lock, and then just having a perfect team dynamic, perfect chemistry. So yeah, and there's so many areas in which you can compete in and excel in, which is what I love so much about it.
We were talking to Lewis Gray earlier, and I talked to a lot of Naval Academy athletes, and they mention this word a lot, especially as they go through in their careers, but legacy. And obviously with this program now being elevated now in terms of status, it gives you a chance to even, leave an even greater legacy here at the academy. Does that seem to matter to you all as much as it seems to a lot of other athletes here at the academy?
Yeah, I think it definitely does, especially for us having made the journey from an ECA to Club B to Club A to finally becoming a varsity program. It means a lot to us. Our team motto is love the legacy. Um, and we stay connected to our grads. So, if you go on a summer training to San Diego, there's an NWR alumni there who offers up their home to you. So it's really powerful to be a part of this team where every practice you show up to, every lift you do, that you're contributing to something bigger for the women that are going to come after you.
The fact that you all get even greater resources now for your program, just how much value is that provided for you all as a rugby team?
I think there definitely have been growing pains learning how the varsity systems work, vice the club systems. But I think the biggest thing that it has changed is it's really streamlined the admin side, because when we were club sport, we ran everything. We booked our hotels, we got our buses, we put in all of our movement orders. But now the athletes can really focus on the rugby instead of worrying as much about the admin. So I think that has definitely helped us hone our game a lot.
I was gonna say, can we even? I mean, is it hard to quantify the fact that all you basically have to do now is show up for practice every day, and there are other people now that take some of those responsibilities off your plate?
It's definitely a relief. I was sort of like the ops chief last year when I was second class, and I was in charge of all the buses and the hotels and the food. So I worked really closely with Keely Stork, who was our president last year. Um, and it was a lot. It's a lot of work. And most of the time I wasn't even thinking about the game I was playing on Saturday. I was thinking about, when does the bus have to be there, and have I gotten snacks for the game? So it's a heavy weight that has been lifted off of the midshipmen's shoulders.
I don't know if you can expand upon it now, but as you think about it, you'll become part of, you mentioned the NWR family of alumni here soon. And just how much will that mean to you, seeing what these other members of that community have meant to you now as a player? You will eventually transition into that role for future Navy women's rugby players.
I honestly can't even put into words how much that means to me. I think it means the world to me, being part of such a motivated group of women who care so fiercely for their sport, but more importantly for each other. I don't think there's honestly anything at the academy or in life that can compare to that.
If you were to, and obviously now you're seeing them, but when potential recruits now show up, what's the pitch? What does Eliza Herring and her teammates tell future potential rugby players why the Naval Academy is the place for them?
I don't think it's a tell. I think it's more of a show. So we had we had one of our recruits at our film session last Tuesday, and our coaches were trying to explain something, and they got out of their seats in a classroom in Carter Hall and demonstrated what they were trying to perform for us. And we all started laughing and having fun. And, then they called on us and we answered questions. So I think it's more of a show. So we showed those recruits that we are a family, that we do take care of each other, and we have a lot of fun. And then we're also very serious about our sport. So I think that's sort of what we show them, is that this place brings together such special people, and we have such amazing adults who care about us, who are leading us, that really sets us apart from other schools.
There's no doubt about it. Eliza, appreciate the time today. Best of luck to your teammates as you take on Army this weekend. Appreciate the time today.
Thank you.